back, pal. I'm very excited to talk to you and catch up with you. How's it been going for you? You know, COVID and all that stuff. You're surviving, you're living, you're there.
Yeah, it's good. I can't complain, you know. Obviously things are wild, but that's nothing new. But wait, was it a year ago that I was on the show?
It was a year ago, but then
you've done some things for us over the
came on in
year.
July, right? And you reviewed a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you reviewed a movie with us.
Okay.
But your interview for Before Winter in Vale, a movie that I adored, by the way.
Yeah, you love that one. Yeah.
You came on for the full interview then. That's what you came on for.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Tyler,
Yeah.
very, very excited to talk about a movie that's coming out here soon, in just a couple weeks, a week and a half now at this point.
Wow.
Very excited. But I got there's been so much that has happened since we talked to you last,
much.
including you winning a Decky Award, which I think is really the pinnacle.
A Decky and a Hallmarky award.
All in the same week.
How has your life changed?
How are you able to go outside?
No, phone's ringing off the hook and just being accosted everywhere I go.
Yeah, and I didn't see it on your IMDb page, so I'm sure you're going to add it at some point. It just it's taking a little bit to get there.
Messages have been sent and things are being addressed. Yes, all my awards should be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Since we last talked to you, you did a Christmas movie, 12 Dates of Christmas.
On the 12th date of Christmas.
Whatever.
12 Dates of Christmas is a Mark Paul Gosselaar movie. Zach Morris from Saved by the
Zach
Bell.
Morris. Are you like me where Christmas is really what I care for, right? That's why I watch these movies. I watch them for the Christmas. Is there any more joy in acting in these movies when there's Christmas spirit afloat, or no?
You mean like versus doing a movie? That's not
versus
Christmas
doing
movie?
just like a winter movie or a spring movie. Christmas has got to add a little pizzazz, right?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think you're right. I think when you do a Christmas movie, it does feel a little bit different. There's a lot of decorations that get involved. The snow is fun when you're trying to be romantic and someone's getting pelted with a snow machine. That's always beautiful and stunning to look at. There is something a little more magical about the Christmas movies. You're absolutely right. It's the decor, it's the atmosphere, it's all of that. And if you're lucky enough to shoot something that's not like in the dead of summertime, it feels even more festive.
I love it. And when did you shot 12 Dates? I imagine closer to the fall ish because of COVID restrictions. Is that correct?
When was that? No, I think that was like July.
Oh wow! So it was like one of the quicker ones back.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones back, and it was toasty. We had a lot of snow machines, and
it was pretty heavily focused on the city of Chicago and like different landmarks in Chicago. Did you do any extensive research on the city of Chicago to make it not feel like you were just a phony? Just a phony.
Short answer is no. I was just a phony.
Yeah. No, it showed, Tyler.
That's more than fair. More than fair. Now, Tyler, you've done 7 of these movies since 2018.
Wow.
Right?
That's got to be one of the most.
Gotta be. And that's since Falling for You. So fall of 18 and I'm including It Was Always You in February. So really in, what is that? All of 19, all of 20, 2.5 years, you've done 7 of these movies. That's getting it done right there, sir. I mean, that is really working a lot of Hallmark movies. Are you just exhausted? Are you tired? Or are you ready for them to send you a whole barrel more scripts?
Well, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate all the compliments on how many Hallmark movies I've done in such a short period of time.
Is that embarrassing, Tyler?
No, it's not. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I know.
These movies are hard work, and I've put a lot into them, and so do a lot of other people. And no, very, very, very proud. I just like that you're giving me this compliment.
Yeah. No. I'm here for it. That's what I'm here for. Let me ask you, here's a better version of the question. You're at this point that you're a Hallmark stud, you're offer only, you're a big deal. How many scripts do you read through when you get tossed Hallmark scripts? to find the one? Like, is it when they send you a Hallmark script, you go, okay, I know you like to work on your character. I know that's important to you. Do you read it? Do you get the script and you go, I can make this work? Or do you keep waiting for the right script? Like, do you go through 3 or 4 before you get the one you want?
I get one and I do that one. That's how it's been.
Wow. Okay.
It's that simple. I think for most of us, that is the case. I mean, you guys talk to a lot of us. You must know. I mean, I don't know unless you're one of the, maybe it's different for the leading ladies, but I think for us guys, at least a schmo like myself, I get a script, I read it, and luckily they've all been nice scripts, and so I usually find a way into it pretty well right away.
Is there a script that you've gotten that you were most excited about, right off the bat, or are you kind of the same level of this is cool over all of them?
No, they do vary. Certain ones come with certain hurdles. Generally, the process when I read these scripts is like I'm starting to figure out what is it that's valuable about this story, what is it that makes this movie possibly unique by comparison to the other movies, because as we all know, they're quite similar in nature. And then what are the things that I need to possibly avoid or steer away from. These movies, they have a certain quality to them. It's like, you watch Avatar, you're not watching a James Cameron movie thinking about all the plot holes or all the, possible dialogue flaws. You're trying to make the world believable, and these movies are kind of similar in that nature, that the value is elsewhere. So when I read these scripts, I do have different reactions. The last script, the one that's coming out, It Was Always You, was a very good read. The first draft that I read, that particular draft was maybe the best I'd read. Not to point anybody out, but it was really well done in a lot of little detailed ways that made it a nice read.
Wow.
Of course, a lot of things happen between, when you read it.
Of course. Let me ask you this. Now, you can't say It Was Always You. Which one, looking back at the 6 that you've done over the last couple of years, which one are you most proud of? Which one are you say, yeah, that upon watching it, not just my performance, but the film as a whole, I'm most proud of this
one? I feel like I've been pretty lucky, and I say this genuinely, but I feel like I've been pretty lucky that the quality has been pretty good. I think the one that's coming out, me and Erin had a good working relationship. She was very talented, and we worked pretty hard on this one. And I think the script starting in the shape that it did kind of got us excited and put us in a frame of mind that helped to make it a very good one. So this is definitely up there. I thought Winter in Vale was really beautifully made, in the fact that it was actually shot in Colorado and in Calgary in the winter, in the snow. Like, it felt very authentic. There was good production value there. I thought those are good. And I thought the first one, It's Christmas Eve, Leanne sang, and the music that Daryl and her wrote, I thought was pretty exceptional.
When it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Brand has to do that every time someone mentions.
I don't remember the rest of the words. I just it's Christmas Eve, and then
those songs were in my head. Yes. Every day when I was making that movie, and for months afterwards, I was singing those songs. I can't tell you.
Yeah. Do you have a good singing voice, Tyler? We've never heard you sing.
Angelic, some say. Yeah.
Give me just it's Christmas Eve. Give it to no.
Get out of here, Brad.
He said no. He said no.
No chance.
So
you didn't want to compete. You didn't want to compete.
Yeah. No, not with Brand. Who would?
Next to you, I can't follow that up.
I don't blame you. Go ahead, Dan.
You've told us off air before, like, hey, nobody comes to these movies to see somebody who's not charming or who's not likable. And you're right, but I feel like over the last 6 months or so, Hallmark's starting to give a little bit more leeway in that regard. In fact, your character in the beginning of On the 12th Day to Christmas is a little not charming for the first, probably 30, 45 minutes of the movie. Was that kind of refreshing to get to play someone who's not immediately just the best person? And do you feel like moving forward, and I don't know how much you can tell us about the new one, but moving forward, there's a possibility for more of that in the future?
I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, and my experience has been, I've come into this world, I've tried to understand the brand and what they try to do as much as I can, and then try to do what I can to make it as interesting or compelling as possible, given the framework that I'm allowed to work within. And so, like 12 Dates, for example, he was talking about that. When I read that script, I thought, there is an element to this movie that's, I think a lot of women might relate to and maybe find refreshing to see portrayed in one of these movies, where you have a guy who is mansplaining, behaving inappropriately in some regards, not being very accommodating to her ability to do her job. And I thought it would be doing a disservice to the story to pull that and just make it kind of fluff, and to actually have him be that way, not maliciously, but unknowingly, and having her, obviously prove herself to herself as part of that story. I felt like there was maybe some catharsis for women, some subtext in there that might be kind of nice because it's reflecting of real life. So, I mean, I made that decision, you know what I mean? I guess obviously they allowed me to do that, and they, you put it in the movie. So yeah, whether it's changing behind the scenes, I don't know. I know everybody over there is genuinely trying to do good work and are very, very kind, thoughtful, hardworking individuals, like as far as the executives there that I've experienced and met. So I think with anything, it's like these things evolve organically. We're all working hard towards something, and as somebody pushes the envelope a little bit or tries something a little bit new and refreshing, and then people around see that that's okay and the fans respond to it positively, then the whole brand can sort of shift and evolve. And so I think it's a reaction to the fans wanting certain things, and reaction to maybe the artists who are making them, pushing it in that direction. And so, yeah, I think over time it'll just keep evolving, getting better. Even the movie we just did is a little bit dangerous in some respects.
Yeah. Dan mentioned it, but you've done a lot of these over the last two and some change, and I believe it's more than any other male. Maybe Andrew Walker's up there as well.
Yeah, he's got to be.
But why do you think that it is for you? I'm not asking you to brag about yourself, but you can. What's the secret sauce of Tyler Hynes' Hallmark movies that has made it to where you're I would say you're up there in the top three of the most popular guys out there. So what are you doing, and what can I do to make people like me like that?
It's a great question, Brand. Let's see. Wear less shirts.
Yeah.
Maybe give that a try. That could be your thing. Shirtless Brand.
Shirtless Brand.
No, I want people to like me, Tyler.
I love how he didn't answer any of the stuff about bragging on himself. He went straight to the how can we make Brand popular, and that is $1 million question.
Because here's what I see, Tyler. Yeah. I see a guy who made a couple of these movies and immediately started engaging with the fans, which is huge. Like Hallmark is they're in touch, they're in tune with what their fans are wanting, and they're giving it to them. And you did that very early on for you. And so you do great work, and you're super likable and charming and all that stuff, but it's really your relationship with the fans that I think makes all the difference for kind of you continuing to get these roles, because it's what the people want. The people want you. That's what I'm trying to say.
So tell me that, Brand. So, because this is an interesting perspective, because I don't have this perspective. I only sort of did what I was doing. I didn't have a conversation with Hallmark about fans. I didn't know anything. I think I've met some of the PR people in passing and when we've dealt on different things, but there's been never any conversation about any of that. But so tell me your observation. You're saying that you think that the secret sauce was in the beginning. I started engaging with the fans in a way that they engaged back, that made an impact.
You said, I believe a year ago, like you actually try to respond to every single you're like, it's already getting hard, but every single like tweet that talks to you or Instagram post, you try your best to engage and respond, which we like. All of these actors are great and they do that. Like they try to do that, but we found in just not only dealing with you, but seeing your activity on social media that was important to you. Like people were watching this and they cared, and you loved that they cared enough to shout you out or whatever. And you needed to respond to that. I don't know how you're possibly like, within the Hallmark world, your star is just like shot up so big. I don't know how you're possibly keeping up with all that, but I think early on, what we've found, like even in a podcast where I give, Hallmark movies a hard time on a regular basis, is having that engagement with the audience whenever they message us and just said, hey, I like this episode, or you forgot to say this, or this actually technically, you were wrong about this. We try to respond whenever we can to that kind of stuff because we still can't believe people listen to us do it. Whereas at this point you're a known commodity. And I think what Bram was saying is your initial engagement that's a huge part of it. I mean, that's a huge part of building a Hallmark brand in a sense. I mean, you've been on Letterkenny and you had Recon come out, correct? But you've been pretty much doing a ton of Hallmark lately. And I think people notice that. They notice that you care about your character and that you want to engage and you've been successful at it so far.
Interesting. What? I mean, I'm hearing your guys' perspective, and you guys probably have a better bird's eye view than I do. For me, to answer your question, Brand, how do you become popular? I don't know how to answer that. How I became apparently popular, you're saying, in this world, I don't know how to answer that either, but I can tell you this. A while ago, I made the decision to I think there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of people talking, a lot of people yelling, a lot of things happening. And for me personally, I sort of followed a motto of just shut up and be sick. Just shut up. Be the guy that you think is the guy that you like. Like if you think in the scenario that you're faced with, what would be the cool thing to do that you think is like, hey, that's a cool thing to do. Just do that thing. And I made it that simple. And so I do that as much in my life as I can, whether it's talking to a supplier of lumber for my cottage. If I'm going to sit there and talk to him for a while, or I'm, close friends with the guy who rents me my car at Hertz. He's like my buddy now. We talk to each other on Instagram. I just like genuine interactions. I like people just being themselves and being comfortable. I answer every text. I answer every email. If you look at my phone, there's no notifications that haven't been answered.
Is that a personality? Is that a personality thing, Tyler? Where if you see notifications, it bothers you? Like you got to clear that out?
It's not that. It's like I have an issue when I'm talking to someone if they don't acknowledge me when I speak. Like if I say something to you, and a lot of people do that now with phones and stuff like that, they maybe heard you, but they don't say a response to you. I find this bizarre. I think like when someone talks to you, you respond. And if somebody's, engaging with you, you engage back. And even if their engagement is kind of inappropriate, like some of the things I read and stuff is wild, but I still feel like, someone took the time to write that.
Yeah.
And, for me to like see it and then they see that I saw it and then I don't respond, that probably hurts a little bit. I don't want them to feel that. So I'm just like, I try to just acknowledge people. And I with social media and all that, it's not something I'm particularly super into. Like I don't like to talk to my phone. I don't ever do that. I don't strategize in any way. I just try to post things that come back to that initial thing that I'm saying, which is what's a cool way to be? What would I admire? I want to do that. I want to be that guy. What's funny? Like what's a funny thing to do in this scenario? I'm going to do that because that's hilarious to me, or that's kind to me, or genuine, or whatever it is. And I take that same approach with work. You know what I mean? It's like with these movies very early on, it was a thing that just sort of came into my lap when they offered me It's Christmas Eve. I flew out 2 days later and started shooting with Leanne Rimes. They're telling me to shave my face, and everybody's losing their mind about the stubble that I have. It was a whole world that I wasn't familiar with. It was brand new to me. But I thought, okay, there's a fork in the road here. Either I can just sort of like ride this wave and just try to like smile and be charming, or I can like treat this like I would like to treat any of the things that I engage myself in, which is like try to really understand it. If there's something valuable here to understand, then actually engage yourself with it. And I realized pretty early on that there is something valuable here. I mean, both you guys are here, you know, engaged in the world of Hallmark, I'm sure for the similar reasons that I am. It's positive. People seem to react to them in a very nice way. It makes people very, and all the drugs and all the alcohol and all the,
yeah, we're all in it for the same reason. What I think you're trying to say is you try not to suck.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
As a person,
just in general.
Yeah. And I think what I'm trying to say is people see that.
Yeah.
And they respond to it. And I think that's really great because for me, I've been trying to learn how to longboard because I watched you on Instagram.
How's it going, Brian?
That's not true.
With no ocean
I scooter now. I do scooter now. I do scooter. Man. I have a scooter.
You know, I just don't. I'm not buying any of this. I think it's just the hats. I think it's the hats. If Bran had one of these trucker hats that you're wearing, I think that would solve the whole problem. I think
I would give you one, but this is the only one I have.
And should we start a Tyler Hines hats account? Maybe.
What about how about the beanie? Does the beanie work? Does this work? Is it working?
I mean, it's working if you want to be like.
The camera was on Dan, and it cut back to you, and you were subtly wearing a hat. So for me, the comedic timing of your camera work, whoever's controlling the camera,
it's actually Bran. Bran controls the camera, so he did.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Well done. All right, here I'll switch out too. I'll join you.
Yeah, look at this. This is what I'm talking about.
Just a couple of boys hanging out.
Tyler Hines looks like he's the lead singer of the Spin Doctors. Is what he looks like now.
Spin Doctors. Oh, you dated yourself with that reference, man. Spin Doctors.
So the other thing I heard in all that was you have a cottage or you're building a cottage. Tell me about that.
Not that long rambling. I did ramble for a bit.
No, you're good.
Well, I asked you what makes you cool, so it was an impossible question in your defense.
Yeah. To do shortly, and the short answer was just don't suck. The cottage. I obviously the world, etc. And a friend of mine, one of my best friends, we've known each other forever, and I'll keep this short, but we bought a cottage together and are renovating it and in the process of doing that. And it's something that we wanted to do together as two pals and maybe have a little legacy in our family and friends and give a place for everybody to sort of escape to.
So it's going to be like a shared place. Anybody who wants to go out there.
It's me and him, just like, we were both interested in the area. When I was shooting 12 Dates, I started looking at places when I was shooting, and then I came back and then we started driving around and, to what I was saying before, we drove around, we saw a sign with these three lovely ladies on them calling themselves the queens of whatever the area we're in, the queens of Muskoka or whatever it was. And we're like, let's call them up. We called them up. One of them ended up being our realtor, and we had a blast for about a month looking for places, and we bought a place, and now we're renovating it, and hopefully it'll be a place that his family, my family, our friends can sort of go to find some escape.
Why aren't we doing that?
We should buy a house together.
Of course.
There you go.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I don't know quite if our paychecks for Deck the Hallmark are gonna foot the bill or not, but who knows? This is only one way to find out.
The Hallmark's blowing up, boys.
That's right.
I heard you guys had an award show.
That's right, we did. We were in tuxes and everything, Tyler.
Maybe we should bring on a third person.
Yeah. Maybe a third person who would be like more the money
and
side
who would never be in town.
He'd never be out of Canada. Yeah.
I'd never be able to use it. Yeah.
Tyler, are you taking other auditions right now, or are you so busy with Hallmark movies you're not? I mean, like I know Letterkenny, you said you were friends with those guys, right? Like, are you so busy? I mean, because I know that they film in 15 days, but it's a 21-day shoot. COVID's going on. You finish one. Like, it seems like that takes up the majority of your professional time. Are you still taking auditions? Like, are you still actively like agent out there looking for auditions, or are you just so ensconced in the Hallmark world that you're just kind of taking a break from that right now?
Yeah, no, there's an interesting project that's coming to Toronto that I just read for one of my favorite writers, Taylor Sheridan.
Oh my gosh, dude! Taylor Sheridan's my jam. Yellowstone, Wind River, Hell or High Water. He can write, man. Sicario, yes, of course.
Yes, yeah. So this it was for I read for the lead characters in that show, and it's a really beautiful script. And yeah, I mean, as far as like, obviously these movies are taking up a lot of time. I'm totally comfortable with that. I do enjoy these movies and enjoy everybody who works on them. So again, like, I don't care about anything other than what lives within the motto that I said earlier. Yep. What's just be sick. And to me, these movies are beautiful and they're great. Everybody's nice. I can't see what's wrong with them. I just have fun making them, and I work hard doing them.
You're great in them. I'm just being selfish here. I'd love to see you in something like a Taylor Sheridan show. I think that would be fantastic. Like, I just think that would be really, really fun.
So to answer your question, yes, there is other projects out there, and there are other things. I've got other, like, you know, the guys who I worked on Recon with, they have more projects in the pipe, and you know, some other friends of mine who are filmmakers. One of my closest friends who I would kill to work with him, has got 2 movies he's writing, probably both going to Netflix. And so he texted me saying that we'll go do that together. So there'll be other things. Don't worry, Danny. Won't have to just see me in Hallmark movies.
I love it.
So let's talk about It Was Always You. I texted you, by the way, and I haven't heard back yet. And so I'm getting concerned that you don't care. Because I just
texted you.
No, I texted you just a few minutes ago, and so if you.
But you know, to be fair, he says when someone's talking,
that's
he doesn't look at his phone.
This is proof. This is proof.
He doesn't look at his phone. That's right.
Hey, I got.
Oh, he's doing a selfie.
He said, "Hey, that was
this is great audio, guys. This is good stuff."
I want to read the synopsis, and
please,
and then I just want you to explain yourself.
Go ahead.
Well, after the synopsis, there's a question from a listener.
Okay,
right now
great.
A viewer, whatever.
Elizabeth's engagement plans. Her name's Elizabeth. That's phenomenal.
Wow, can't believe that happened.
Wind calls the heart, man. They're just really on the nose there. Are thrown into disarray when her fiance's free-spirited brother David returns home. David's unexpected influence prompts Elizabeth to question her life's decisions.
And we had someone watching this live on Bramble Jam Plus that basically said, I can't see it, but basically, how do you sleep at night? Knowing that you stole this poor guy's your brother's fiance. How do you sleep at night? That is the question.
Yeah, I think if you guys were to see the text messages between me and Aaron when we first, came on board of this project, I think you guys would understand that we also understand what you're thinking about. We share your concern. And this is, when I was first reading the script, that was the thing. I was like, how are they going to end this movie where it's not going to be heinous? Because I personally, in my personal life, I don't like movies with cheating in them. I really don't like them. I think I have an aversion to that more than most. Most people can watch Sex in the City.
To that point, Hallmark has done light cheating in the past, where it's the guy's kind of the worst, and she goes back to her town,
and she hasn't quite broken up with him yet.
And it's iffy. But this seems like this is egregious.
Yes,
this
they're getting married.
But what you're saying is, by the end, we won't hate you.
I'll leave to you. I'll be curious to hear your guys' reaction, because again, like I said, with each of these movies comes their own challenges, both what's amazing about it and what's possibly dangerous about it. And for this, as it is with almost any movie, or at least the way I approach it, is those dangerous things. I try to use those as an asset. And so for me, when I was reading this, I was like, yeah, this guy is going to steal his brother's fiance while they're planning their wedding. I can't think of something more wild and disturbing to witness. And so
it's not like While You Were Sleeping, like where they're not really like, this sounds like a real engagement.
And he's got and that's why the first script that he got, which I guess we may not get to see in a week and a half, that script I bet was like, he was like, am I really reading a Hallmark script? You probably had to look at the front cover a couple of times and be like, is this really Hallmark?
But here's the thing, it was really well written, and the words out of the mouth and the line that they were walking was just ever so delicate. And so she really did a good job, Kathy, with that draft that I read. And it was, to me, it was the first time reading one of these movies where it was suspenseful. I was like, how are you going to end this thing where I am not going to hate you? And I'm going to be that guy that I hate.
Wow.
And I don't know. For me, it works for me because again, the negative, or what could be the perceived negative of this movie, to me is the positive in regards to life is life. People do find themselves in these kinds of precarious situations, and there is a version of this that is heinous, and then there's a version of this that is life and is still beautiful despite. And I think. I mean, they just sent me the link to the movie, so I'll watch it when we get off here.
Wow.
I think we probably did that. Okay. I mean, I did everything I could.
Shoot that link on over, Tyler. We won't tell
We'll
anybody.
let's do a watch party together. We'll get off here. We'll just we'll do a zoomy zoom.
A little zoomy zoom.
A little zoomy zoom. Hey, who? And I don't want it. We can edit it out if you don't know. I looked on IMDb.
Yeah.
Who wrote the movie? Who's the screenwriter?
Kathy Cloves.
Kathy Cloves. Has
Yes.
she done anything else that I would know on the Hallmark? Do you know?
I think she's pretty new. From what I remember when I first got the script, I really hope I got her last name right. I believe it's Kathy Cloves. Yes, of course it is.
There's someone out there named Kathy Cloves who's like, I did what?
I did say what now?
Yeah, she had written something called A Worthwhile Life, and this looks like a Hallmark movie. I don't know if it is. Yes, it's a Hallmark Channel movie. It's with Adrian Grenier and Amy Smart. I'm looking at my phone right now.
Entourage, Adrian Grenier.
Correct. That's right.
What I'm talking about.
So I think that was maybe her only other one that she had done. And yeah, I mean, she did a really beautiful job. We've stayed in touch since, and she's very talented, very sweet woman. And yeah, again, to your point, this is a dangerous territory we're dabbling in.
Yeah,
you tell me if it works.
I read that synopsis, man. I was like, oh, he's done it now.
I haven't heard that though. A lot of haven't. When I read the script, that was my reaction. I was going, "What is going on here?" And then the whole movie, I'm sure they would tell you, there was a lot of conversations of me going, I'm going to do this like this because of this. And if you don't understand that this is really dangerous, then I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to do this because this needs to be this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get, you know how the Hallmark world works. Every season of these movies, they come out with these like, hey, this is all the dates the movies are coming out. Here's a 2-sentence synopsis. People overanalyze them. But I've never seen just people going as crazy as they were going over just still photographs that we were getting from this movie. I mean, those photos, when did they release? Was that during Christmas?
It got announced during Christmas, and I think January the first stills came out.
And not only were they going crazy, but it looked like not a Hallmark movie. Like it was washed out a little bit. Like
it was steamy sultry.
It was very yeah. Do you recall? Do you remember when all this started? Like seeing the pictures and being surprised yourself, or was this not even on your radar?
I'd seen the pictures. So when we do these movies, I get to kill a certain amount of photos from the set photography, like certain ones I don't want to have released.
Oh wow.
And so I saw all the photos, and I take a bunch of them for myself that I'll post later for the fans and stuff like that don't end up making it in their sort of press kit or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I was at I think the fans to me are always very, very positive and they just seem like positive people in my experience. So I maybe I'm sheltered in my experience, but again, I defer to you guys if they were that excited.
Well, I just never seen anybody that excited, but I do have to interrupt you, sorry, and ask about this photo kill situation.
Yeah.
Is that something that you get after you've done this a while, or do you get that from the get-go, the photo kill thing?
It probably depends. I would have to think about it. It's very possible the first few movies I didn't even really know it existed or didn't ask about it. And then at a certain point, maybe it existed from the beginning. I don't remember, but I do know it's something that your agent or whoever, they include that in your contract.
What makes a killable photo for Tyler Hynes? Because I can't imagine you taking.
Is it a bad angle of Tyler Hynes we're not aware of?
There's a certain, if you turn, you see a double chin.
Yeah,
a certain angle.
It's like one shot of Tyler flicking off the camera. It's like, where did this come from? I don't know what's going on here.
There's some pretty epic photos, I think, online. Some people have posted some photos of me, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And they'll say really sweet things like, look how cute he is here. And I'm like, are we looking at the same photo? Because this guy looks like a blown out toe. Like, this is not a good photo. So I think if you guys just did a quick Google search, you could answer that question. Which ones should get killed? You'll see.
You did not kill those.
Good to know.
No.
Big mistake. So it was always you closing out. This was. Did you know? Were you aware of Erin's kind of stardom and Hallmark Channel? Like she's because of When Calls the Heart, she's kind of like Hallmark Channel royalty. Were you aware, kind of going into it, how beloved she is? Because she doesn't do a ton of the movies because of how much she's filming When Calls the Heart. So when she does ones, it's always a big deal. Were you aware of that going into this?
No, that's interesting. So you're saying she doesn't do too many movies because of the show? Because
I would say
10 episodes.
Yeah, I would say like maybe she averages like one a year.
Yeah, we've only seen the Sense and Sensibility and Snowman. Is that it? We've maybe seen 2 movies.
There was one when she's on a horse.
Oh, with Ryan Pavey,
Yes.
Summer Romance, Summer something. They're in Montana. Yeah. We've seen 2 in 3+ years. But she does. Okay. She's doing 10 episodes of the show every year, so she's on Hallmark.
Right. And she did the Father Christmas trilogy.
Father Christmas, and
which we only saw one of.
And she does. But she also, When Calls the Heart, until this year, also did a feature-length movie for Christmas time. So every year she's doing a When Calls the Heart movie and 10 episodes. So she's on the network more than anybody. But because of that, she's not doing regular movies.
We're just saying, I don't know if that is why she's not, but I would assume
it seems to be a big deal when Erin Krakow is in a movie.
Yes,
that's what we're trying to say. Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying, was I aware of her stardom from the show?
Yeah, because she's When Calls the Heart's huge.
Right. I'm still, to answer your question, I'm still learning some things about this. I wasn't too familiar with the show. I'd seen images of her, so when they sent me the name of who would be my co-star, I looked her up and I was like, "Yep, okay, it's that person from When Calls the Heart." And no, I didn't know much about much, but she texted me pretty immediately, and we started chatting pretty immediately. So I got to know her very quickly.
Let me ask you this: 1, did she pitch you to come on When Calls the Heart? Because I think everybody wants that. And 2, did she tell you who she ends up with this season? Because if you could give us that information, that'd
make a lot.
That'd
of
be
money.
Really big for us personally.
Yeah. No, I probably would tell you, but I don't know the answer because I never asked that question. But she probably would have told me. But I never asked. And what was the other?
Are you going to be a guest star in When Calls the Heart?
I think those 2 answers are together, Tyler. Let's be honest. She's about to make her choice between Lucas and Nathan, and Hynes rides in on a horse and swoops her up and rides out of Hope Valley. Roll credits,
and she says, "It was always you."
That's right. You nailed it.
Full circle, baby.
Somebody hire these guys at Hallmark. Let's go.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how you 2 ended up back, and then I don't know.
It's a whole thing, yeah.
It's a time travel sitch.
Yeah, I like it.
There you go. Isn't there a time travel movie where we get, is it a clock that does that?
Timeless Christmas.
Christmas.
There you go.
Ryan
Pavey. Get the clock, and then we travel back.
I think the Heinies need to get a hashtag going with the When Calls the Heart. I
love
think
it.
it's easy at this point.
Heinies for Hope Valley.
Heinies for Hope.
I love it. I love it. Hey, let me ask you this. What is, You said you got another one that you're about to film. What can you tell us about what's coming up after It Was Always You?
Well, the film that there's an offer that came last year that we were going to shoot, but because of obviously the pandemic, things were postponed. So we're getting around to doing that with a producer that I did the first movie with, Stephanie Germain, which is really nice.
That's Christmas Eve. That movie.
There you go. That's the one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Keep going. Let's go.
Falling for You came out.
Yeah, but remember he shot that one first and it was
Christmas Eve
swapped.
first. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the first one. That's right. Yes. Right. But yeah, what that movie's about. What can I tell you about it? I don't know much about it. I read the script just the other day.
Well, if you read the script, Tyler, then you know all about it, right?
Yes, I do know that. But as far as who's in it and all that, I don't know anything. I know exactly what happens in the movie. Right.
I don't know anything. All I've done is read everything about it.
Yeah. I read every page of the script.
I don't even know I know there was a co-star that was attached to it. When we were talking about last time, I think, and then I don't know if that same person is.
Can you tell us what season the movie takes place in?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to do these things.
Wow.
I've never had this conversation with executives, but I don't know if I'm allowed to do this because
you've done a winter.
Would you say that you might be falling into a movie?
Here we go. So we're gonna play hot or cold.
Yeah. Is it really during this movie? Is it really hot? Like really, like heat is on? Like a really.
Is her name Summer? Or?
I'll say this. It's the story doesn't really have that much to do with the season.
Okay.
So it's not a fall movie.
Well, let me ask you this. Just take that one out of play. You've done a fall, you've done Christmas, you've done winter, you've done Love Ever After, which is the season we're in right now. What season are you dying to go to next, Tyler?
I guarantee you, Tyler's given a lot of thought about it.
You got the spring fling. You got the June weddings. You got the summer of love. I mean, there's some good options still out there, Tyler.
So hold on. So wedding, I did Wedding March. Isn't that one?
Oh, Wedding March. That must have. When was that?
It must have been in 2019 before we were doing every movie.
Oh yeah, we must have missed the wedding. We've not seen every Tyler Hines. I thought we'd seen every Tyler Hines.
Oh really?
movie.
Okay.
I don't want to live in a world where I haven't.
Yeah, Wedding March. Put it on the books. Yeah.
And then what was it? Spring fling. I remember hearing that term when I was doing like the preview special. So maybe I wasn't in a spring fling, but I was in the preview special. So yeah, maybe that's something I haven't done. Spring.
I like it.
Tyler, at what point are you gonna like test your clout here and talk to who is it, Penny, who does the casting, and say, hey, like I need my boys to be in this movie with me. Like at what point are you willing to, I don't know, like put us
my neck on the line.
Yeah, or just like care about us even a little bit.
I don't know when that will be, but when it happens, you'll be the first to know. You'll probably be the second to know. I'll probably float it out there, and if it works, I'll let you know. If it fails, then I'll save your ego.
I love it.
The pleasure of knowing.
Let's assume he's already tried. Can we do that?
That's fair.
Is it rapid fire?
I think it's rapid fire round. It's Always You, Saturday, February 27th. Very excited for it.
The lovely Aaron Krakow.
The lovely.
That's right.
Well, hold on. I have a question.
Please go for it.
Did you guys watch the promo for this movie?
I watched the promo.
I try my best not to. I don't want to get spoiled. So I'm sorry. I try my best not to because I just don't watch them. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Why are you?
So Brandon, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Having known the synopsis, and then now having your reaction to that synopsis. And now let's hear your thoughts about the promo. The behind the scenes thing that exists.
I haven't seen the behind the scenes thing. I will say the promo. Okay. I like it's. I think both the promos I've seen, or maybe only the first one, ends right before you guys are about to kiss. It's steamy. It is steamy, sultry. Like it's gonna be.
I heard enough to be glad that I'm married and I don't have to worry about Tyler Hines swooping in to my wedding planning.
You made it past the engagement.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was always you, Dan. It was always you.
Is that maybe the twist in the movie? He looks at his brother and he's like, "It was always you. I was always going to take your girl."
Different meaning. That's smart.
Oh, I'm very excited about it, man.
You got any other questions? We're here for you, Tyler.
Yeah,
We're
what
here.
else do you need to know?
Well, I liked it because I get a perspective from you guys. Like, I don't know, like, you guys are obviously paying attention to what's happening and have a point of view that I don't necessarily have. Again, I just put my head down and try to do the best I can and try to.
Well, let me give you my perspective really quickly about why I'm excited about this movie.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Well, so
because you guys will do like a recap without me, and I'll never hear this.
Well, you could. It's free wherever you listen to podcasts, Tyler.
Or are you still logged into My Friendly TV?
I can give you a ranking of every Tyler Hines movie if that helps you. Like I can. Let
me just say this really quickly. Why I'm excited about it. It was always you. I love you. I think you do a wonderful job. It's very like.
Thanks,
I don't know. It's a very like I'm watching the bro like do his thing, and it's awesome. But what Aaron I think does just better than I think any of the other female actors in these movies is she has this look that you're just like, oh my, like she has a I'm falling for you look that she does really, really well. And I think that's what makes When Calls the Heart such a hit is these looks that she gives to Jack early on and then later on to Nathan and whoever else. Like these looks that they exchange. She tells so much with her face. She's wonderful in that regard. The acting that she does without saying a word.
If you can't tell, we're trying to get Aaron Krakow on the program. No, I don't know what else you need to know at this point.
I'm being honest. You would agree with that, though, wouldn't you?
I would agree with that statement.
No, none of the other females on the network do as good of a job acting without saying a word than Aaron.
Ooh, I have to think through that a little bit.
Well, Brandon's not wrong. Like, from what I hear, what you're saying is something that I observed too, and I even told Aaron this. There is something about Aaron that she's very capable of being vulnerable in a very, very engaging way. She's got a vulnerability about her that she can turn on that is very interesting. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. She doesn't do that. She does it in the moments that you're referencing, and you're not wrong, Brand. So
there is one actor.
He's not just pitching for her to come on the show.
There is one. I got to be honest. There's one that does it better than her. It's Kelly Pickler. No.
Always got to come back to Kelly Pickler, doesn't it?
Tyler, would you consider is this a kill picture, or am I good? Am I good to run with this one here?
Yeah.
This one.
I can't see it. It's too blurry on your screen. Let me approve this.
Yeah, approve that.
That's part of it.
It's not bad.
Yeah. It's not bad. So what? Just to put a bow on this before rapid fire, Tyler. The reality is we look forward to your movies, including old Dan over here, because most every actor, even the really nice ones, seem to have an angle and seem to be jockeying for something else or really doing this because they know they need to do it because fans will watch, blah, blah, blah. You just seem like a bro. You just seem like a really cool dude that loves fans and loves doing this and will just contact us to see how we're doing. And that is just the God's honest truth. And we can't thank you enough because it would be really easy to blow us off and to go do something else, go work on that cottage or whatever. And you're a kind dude who never has a bad word to say about anybody. And you're just super content and comfortable in your own skin and with who you are. And that speaks volumes. I mean,
all I think we're trying to say is just, it's a simple, hey Penny, I know these guys and I think they'd be great in this summer movie.
Aaron, I know the guys are scary, but you would love hanging out with them on the show.
So first of all, one of those two things have already taken place. Second of all,
hey, I just got an email from Penny. She says it's a no-go.
yeah, it's not that one. It's the other one. The other thing is, mark this moment. I foresee that what you're talking about will eventually happen. I foresee there will be a moment where you guys will at least cameo in one of these movies.
Do you know we were supposed to cameo in one of the movies? Do you know this?
Okay, it's not. Really? It was not a cameo.
It wasn't a cameo. We Jen Lilly, who is on our podcast network, she was filming in Charleston, South Carolina, which is we're in Greenville, a few hours away, and we got on as background actors for that movie, and they told us the day to show up. We
went down a week early for COVID testing.
And then we showed up. Wow. We waited around for 12 hours. They never filmed our scene.
No, really?
And they were like, "Can you guys come back tomorrow?" And we were like, "No, we can't come back tomorrow. This is
we have these things called children.
Like it's a 3.5 hour drive. Like we came down for this one day, and she was like, we hung out behind the set with her and Trevor Donovan. It was great. It was a fun time. We were close to being background actors in one, so we've gotten that close.
Okay, but but that was a logistical, turn of events. Like otherwise it would have happened. So yeah, this is obviously it's already under work. So why are you writing me? Okay, you guys already got your contacts. You guys know enough people.
But
I'm the new guy. You don't want to come to me for this.
The new guy, 7 movies deep
in 3 years. You live at Hallmark, Tyler. I don't know what you're talking about.
You live on 123 Hallmark Lane.
That's right. And also, when's the next time somebody's going to film in South Carolina? Like that's the thing. We caught a real break.
We had our one opportunity.
That's right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I just need enough time to update my passport. If you could just just let me know.
Yeah, just get to Vancouver. Move the podcast to Vancouver. You'll be in every movie.
One of those conversations is taking place.
We talked about moving to Canada. We did. That was a legitimate conversation we had. I'm not making it up. Yeah.
Vancouver's a beautiful place.
Tell me about this cottage. Is it podcast ready? All right, we ready for rapid fire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll each get to ask you 3 questions. You got to answer them. It's more about honesty, less about speed. But speed doesn't hurt. It never hurts.
Okay.
Yeah. Aside from you get it. Dan,
the movie. If you're going to be in a movie, a Hollywood film on the big screen, who are you acting? Who are you not from the Hallmark world acting opposite? Leading lady, a romantic comedy on the big screen. Who's the leading lady in Hollywood that you're acting opposite?
Romantic comedy,
or just romantic drama, something where you two fall in love, like a Hallmark, but actual like Hollywood.
Why are names blanking me right now? Come on, British.
Context clues. Give us something.
What else?
Blue Jasmine.
Michelle Williams?
No, Blue Jasmine.
No.
The evil sister in Thor.
Jasmine.
Come on.
Kate Blanchett?
Yes.
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. Right. Why was that blanking me? Yeah, Kate Blanchett.
I don't think she's going to do it, pal.
No, I don't think so either. Or Ana de Armas.
Oh, okay.
Those are my 2.
Yeah, Ana de Armas is great.
I want to learn how to longboard. What do I need? Like, what's a board? What trucks? I don't know the words. Get me started. Go a starter kit.
Well, you want to commit to a longboard? Or you want to get a skateboard?
Well, do you do both?
No,
I feel like I feel like I've seen you going down like hills, and so I just assume longboard.
Yeah.
All right, skateboard me.
Here's my suggestion then. If you want to cruise around, you get something in between the two. A longboard's a big long thing. Skateboard's a shorter thing.
Okay,
It's something that we call a cruiser board.
Okay.
It's what filmers use, and so it's got like a Bart Simpson tail, and the front will be rounded off, and it's a bigger, wider board with bigger, thicker wheels that are better for cruising, smooth ride. I suggest you get that. You go to any skateboard shop, hopefully a local one, not some big conglomerate, and you say, I want a cruiser board, and they'll sort you out.
When you're skateboarding out on the town, how many people just say, hey, do a kick flip?
None, but I do get some Letterkenny
yeah, you do. Nice.
Recognition sometimes,
nice. Yeah. Okay, last time you did an interview with us, you talked about almost being in There Will Be Blood, and then I asked you your favorite director. You said it was Paul Thomas Anderson. What is your favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film?
So just to be on the record, didn't almost get There Will Be Blood. I wish I almost got that movie. Who knows how close I was, probably miles, but I did audition for it, and with a very nice casting director who made me feel like maybe I had a shot.
You could have left it. I mean, I think that's closer than any of us have ever gotten to be in There Will Be Blood.
You were closer than we were. That's true.
Yeah. Right. Easy answer. It's my favorite movie of all time. And my favorite performance of all time, which is Phantom Thread by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
This movie.
Hey Dan, what do you think about Phantom Thread?
It's my least favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie, aside from Inherent Vice. I'm serious.
Inherent Vice, I understand where you're coming from. Why Phantom Thread? Tell me why.
You know, I'm a big fan of artistic films, and I'm a big fan of what Paul Thomas Anderson does. Big fan of The Master, There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Magnolia, even though Magnolia is kind of a mess. It wasn't a magnetic film for me. Like Lewis's performance, like it it just fell flat. I just was kind of bored, which I never thought would be possible in one of those movies. And I left appreciating what it was, but never wanting to do it again. But
have you seen it one time?
I've only seen it once in the theater, and it was a 10 o'clock show at night. So it finished well after midnight. I was tired. Yeah,
for sure. So absolutely, it's not his most like action-packed, artistically adventurous situations. Watch it again. Watch it at home, preferably if you're hungover. When you're relaxed, you got nothing else to do, and you can actually sit there and sort of watch this thing without needing to get like a movie fix.
Yeah.
If you watch this movie in the right space mentally, Daniel Day-Lewis's performance is, because it's not like big audacious things
subtle.
Like There'll Be Blood.
Yeah.
There is so many things this man is doing in this movie that are so relentlessly good. And same with the actress.
As an actor, I mean, just appreciating the craft of it, I can imagine. Like, it's easy to get very demonstrative and big, but his thing, this is very subtle. Like, he has a lot of very like specific eccentricities in this movie of how particular he is about everything. That is, but the guy's he's the best living actor. Like, he just is in everything he's in, he's unreal.
And the greatest filmmaker. And the thing is, it's both of them taking a subject matter that I couldn't relate to less.
That's right.
Like somebody who's sewing dresses, fashion in England. Like, this is not my cup of tea by any means. But what's so incredible about this movie is that, as eccentric as that actor is, and as sort of mundane as the setting might possibly be to somebody watching it, for me, I relate to the love story in so many little ways that I shouldn't, but is right there. And that is like the craftsmanship that is behind making that, and the sort of the heart that's in that, and between all the actors and everybody involved in that movie is just like, to me, off the charts. And it has some personal sentimental values because of when I watched it and these sorts of things. But just as a piece of work, like, I watched that movie while I was making on the 12th Day to Christmas. I watched that movie I watched the movie a lot. That and Ad Astra I watch a lot.
Wow, Ad Astra. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People hate that movie for some reason. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand how people hate the movie. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film.
Incredible.
I want to kind of continue down this frame of thought here. I want to know, as an actor, is it difficult for you to watch movies and watch different performances and not just totally like pick them apart and then like, why'd they do it this way? Like, for me, like, as somebody who does music just as a hobby, like, I find myself just like going to a concert back in the day when that was a thing, and like ripping apart how it sounds and why'd they do it this way, or listening to albums. Do you find yourself doing that as an actor? Is that tough for you to not, are you able to enjoy it?
Absolutely. To me, like, I've watched more movies in the last like year or two than I ever have in my life. I always loved movies. I always loved filmmaking, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the benefits of doing these Hallmark movies is we shoot them and then we come off, and then we shoot them and then we come off, and we have time. And obviously this pandemic, I have watched a relentless amount of movies, relentless. And like Ad Astra, I've watched like 5 times. Phantom Thread 5, 6, 7 times. And I can watch performances and focus on one specific thing the entire movie and have a whole experience doing it that way. I can put that aside, watch the film as a piece, watch what the filmmaker is doing, find joy and like comfort in how Paul Thomas Anderson starts Phantom Thread with a nice slow push in that travels. And it just like, when I watched that in the theater, I was like, I felt like I was getting a massage. Like, I was so tired of seeing such edited movies, such undercrafted shots, such undercrafted moments, that just seeing somebody sit on a simple shot and everything within that shot having its place while seeming not elaborate or not spectacular has all the quality in that as would, Interstellar or something in a Christopher Nolan movie. It was like, I find so much value in watching these movies and I get so much from it that no, watching a performance, I can focus on it, not focus on it. I can do anything with it. And that's really sort of emerged in the last few years that I've become like a movie super fan. When I make these Hallmark movies, I am literally watching, like, I've been going Al Pacino hard.
Yeah.
And this next movie, I just read the script and I can't get my Al Pacino on in this movie, but there's part of me that wants to put some of Al Pacino, young Al Pacino, in this movie. And this is what some of the fun aspect of these Hallmark movies that I can only speak for myself, because this is what I do. I literally watch these movies while I'm making these movies, and I take that onto set and somehow work it in some ridiculous way that no one will appreciate, but I do.
It sounds like with Phantom Thread, you're watching a lot from a filmmaker standpoint. Do you have that desire in you to go behind the camera after watching movies like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I've done some behind the camera stuff, enough of it that I know that it's incredibly painful, that I don't step into it without understanding what I'm getting myself into. So now, as I've done a bunch of stuff, made, I don't even know how many music videos, made a few short films, poured my heart and soul into every aspect of the whole production process, which is absolutely devastating. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much work. Now I'm at a place now where I'm just truly absorbing all of the things that I love about film. And then I'm probably going to go through a phase where I'll start writing some of these movies out that I want to do, either in broad forms, and then picking one and going down a path, just really being self-indulgent as an artist, and just sort of doing whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. And then that may lead to going, cool, now I'm going to actually take this into production and go through the agony of like shooting, editing. It's so much work, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I do watch that movie with definitely a filmmaker point of view. And it gets me super inspired, these movies.
Yeah. Man, I could talk movies with Tyler all day. I think that's what I really like about Tyler, is I have that love of film that he has, although I'm not an actor. But I
you guys do another, because you guys do other ones. Like,
yeah, I do.
You guys have a podcast?
I do a movie podcast with a film critic from Los Angeles, Alonzo Duralde, called A Film and a Movie, where we take a classic film and a modern day movie and kind of talk about the threads that hold them together and what they borrowed from that movie. So kind of what you're doing, we do on a regular basis.
Like, Tyler on.
We should, dude. He would be awesome. You'd be really, really good, man.
Happy to join. I can talk about I have a few friends who are filmmakers, and we're together. We get to have these kinds of conversations, but literally nobody indulges me in this stuff. Like, even on our movie, like, Aaron's like, okay, man, just shut up about talking.
One of our movies, one of our pairs was Justin Chang from the film critic from Variety. He joined us, and we talked about Jean Renoir's Rules of the Game and Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson. And
there's some correlation between those two?
There's some. If you watch them back to back, you will see a lot of compare and contrast opportunities there. And that's the fun of it, is watching them back to back. And seeing kind of, oh my gosh, there's some of these things that are, underlying themes, or how the film was shot, or how the actors, the choices the actors made. There's so much there that really, you can draw out of it. So it's a fun time, man.
I'm fully down. Do you ever watch, do you know James Gray is?
James Gray? No.
This is the guy who's at Ad Astra.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I've just recently become more informed as to who James Gray is, and I've watched his whole filmography over the last few months.
Wow.
I highly recommend. I think this dude is like the most underrated.
Yeah, I never saw Lost City of Z, and I heard Lost City of Z was great. I did watch We Own the Night, and I liked it okay. This was years and years ago. But those are the only other two that I know of. Ad Astra is my favorite thing that he's done, that I've seen anyway. But
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's one of my favorite movies, so it's my favorite thing. But yeah, even We Own the Night, I watched for the first time the other day, and watch that movie again, because in other contexts you kind of go like, oh, this is like another, like, I'm a cop and it's basically Godfather in reverse, which is, the cops are now who we're following instead of the gangsters. Mm-hmm. And some of the sequences it does in that movie are just so unique, and this dude is the king of taking a genre that you think you're in and then doing something in that genre that is so refreshing, almost like what was it, David Machado or whatever, who did The King with Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah,
See that
yeah,
movie?
yeah. I did not see the
On
movie. But I know
Netflix?
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Great movie. Again, like how many times we've seen like period piece war king stuff, and then they managed to do it in a way that we've never seen, shoot a battle sequence in a way that we've never seen. I love this stuff, man. I could talk for days.
I love it. I do have one more question. It is not about film, unfortunately, for either one of us.
Something to do with my hair.
You said, no, it isn't. I'm not going to ask any hair or beard stuff today. We got to the bottom to the Matthew Perry thing beforehand. I think that we covered it.
Yeah, we covered it.
Yeah, that's the stuff that nobody gets to hear, Tyler, unfortunately. You said when you're talking to Brand, hey, go to a local skate shop.
Yes.
And don't go to some big box store or whatever. I'm a big fan of local everything as much as I possibly can. In South Carolina, sometimes that's tough. What is one chain, store, restaurant, something that you still are a patron of on occasion, if you have to?
Well, yeah, So Hip It Hurts is the Toronto skateboard shop that has been around since I was a child. There's about, 4 main ones here in Toronto, Canada. And I had always sort of gotten product from friends of mine who were in the skate industry in Los Angeles, but I found myself back to a skate shop, and I talked to this gentleman, and he had just purchased the skate shop just before the pandemic, unfortunately. So he was taking it, he's having a rough go of it, unfortunately. But myself, my other friends who've all needed product, we've all done our best to go to him for anything that we need, and buying as much as I can from the man.
Gotcha.
Let's talk donuts to end the show.
Oh, yes.
You can. We're putting together a half dozen box. Yeah. What donuts are you throwing in there to make up your 6?
Oh, simple. They're all Krispy Kreme. Majority of it's going to be original.
Yep. Hot now, baby, right off the conveyor belt.
Yeah, you want to hear the story? The first time I experienced Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I think you did that story with us the first time. I'm not trying to.
Oh, really? I told you this?
Yeah, you told you came down and
how did donuts come up in the first interview and yet here again?
I don't know, man. We talk about a lot. I'm pretty positive because the first time you had them, they weren't hot now.
You know what? It might have been on. It might have been on History or His Story because we were talking about South Carolina. You came on the South Carolina.
You did it was on the History podcast. So actually, Deck the Homework people may not have heard the story.
So go ahead. Go ahead. Share it.
Yeah, but you guys have. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm talking to 2 people who are on here. So anyways, the donuts I would choose, original, fresh, hot, and then I like the chocolate glazed. The chocolate with the sugar on it. I like to keep it. What am I talking about? Maple dip. The classic maple dip is the third. Those are the 3.
Tyler, I'm not trying to sell you on South Carolina. I wouldn't. But I will sell you on this studio right here because we are less than a mile from Krispy Kreme.
That's right.
And it has on
they deliver.
They deliver. When we found out they started delivering, we were like, let's get it every day.
Well, hold on. Did I mention that the first time I had Krispy Kreme was, I think, in South Carolina?
Yeah. Just tell the story. Because I clearly don't remember.
Tyler, okay. I remember. You tell it.
So I was driving down to Florida with my lovely mother, and it was late, and I was very impressed with the size of signs by the highway. South Carolina, America is just like very big. Like gas station signs were like enormous. And so I started wandering around our motel or wherever we were, and found myself a Krispy Kreme late at night, and it was just huge and then entirely empty with a conveyor belt and one glass cabinet in the center of this giant empty store. And I was very confused. And there was one lovely lady behind the counter. I walked up, I looked at the glass, I pointed at a donut. I said, "This one, please." She looked at me, didn't respond, very confused by this. She proceeded to walk back to the conveyor belt, stand there, stare back at me while holding the tongs. And she said, "Well, you want it fresh, don't you?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm sorry I've offended you. Yes, whatever you want, don't hurt me. And yes, I want it fresh, of course." Brought me that fresh donut. I ate it, and I understood why she had such animosity about the way I approached her donuts. Yeah. And ever since then, I don't make the mistake to not get them fresh.
Yeah, you eat day-old glazed Krispy Kreme donuts. You're just a communist. That's how we do things around here.
Well, yeah, I mean, the problem is you get a dozen, and I don't know about you guys. I can't go a full dozen in one night.
Quitters never win, Tyler. Quitters never win.
Yeah, me either, man. Me either. No.
You guys don't microwave them like the next day?
People do that. People do that. I'm a purist.
Well, they put it on the box, so they say if you need a microwave, put it in for 3 seconds, and it's good.
Yeah.
To go.
I don't. I'm a purist, but I've lived here my whole life, so I just don't do it. Like if I can't eat that donut in the first 2 hours it was pulled off that line, I don't eat it.
Out.
Yeah, that's just kind of who I am.
You had the same attitude that she had, and again, I can't blame you for it. She came hard at me, and you're coming hard at me here today as well.
Canada's so cute. You guys are so cute.
With
Out there with your little tiny signs and whatnot. Tyler, tell everybody how they can follow along with you on the internet. Are you going to live tweet the movie next Sunday?
Yeah, it seems to be that's a thing I got to do. It comes with a lot of anxiety, but yeah, that's what we do. It's gotten a lot more fun. Yeah, you can Instagram and Twitter, all those things.
At Tyler_Hines, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct for both of the above.
Instagram and Twitter are both things. Yes.
Yeah, and then Facebook, the fan group. I recommend people go join them because they're a lot of fun.
Great.
I just want to encourage. I don't want you to feel the weight, Tyler, to respond to everybody on Sunday. I don't want. I am giving you permission.
Right.
Don't fall into the thirst traps, my friend. And it's fine. Just let it go. They're gonna be okay.
I will say this:
they're gonna be okay.
If Brand comments on your stubble or your looks in general, if you leave him alone after 3 or 4, he'll stop.
Dude. No, I'm gonna create a burner account and just mess with you all movie long.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll truly see how much.
Take your shirt off. What are you doing?
Well, hold on. Here's a perfect example. I asked you, Brand, if you guys had some, for the award show that you guys did, because I wanted to shout you out. If you guys had something of me winning the award, you didn't even reply to me.
How did you not reply to him?
In my mind, my mind, I'm sitting there going they were kind enough to include me in their award show. The other award show, they gave me a little thing with my face on it so I could post it and say thank you. And so I asked you for one, even though I felt kind of weird because I'm like,
well, no, here's the thing.
I'm going to pile on. No, I'm going to pile on here. This guy, if you're listening and not sure about what Tyler's saying, this guy reached out to us, we unsolicited, and said, I would like to post your podcast on my social media. I would like to do that for you out of the goodness of my heart. And we ghosted him. That's what happened.
Left on scene.
Just absolutely.
And I felt how I imagined all my fans would feel if they saw me see their thing and then just leave it there. They would go, I understand, but it hurts a bit.
Just DOA.
I want to say, first of all, that I'm very apologetic about this. I'm not going to try to defend myself because that would be silly. I will say.
Can I project what I feel like your thought process was?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like you were like, I don't have that material. I didn't give it for anybody else. So I don't know what to answer him, but I might come back to it later when we maybe make that material and then I'll reply to him. Is that what you thought?
My goal, Tyler, was to pull the clip because there's video to pull the clip of you winning. Yeah. And I just didn't. But and there's no excuse for that. I will say I don't usually check Instagram. Dan does this, and so I found out secondhand.
I texted him.
So Dan told me, and then it fell through the cracks, which is still on me.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you want to get in contact with me, Tyler, just get in contact with me. You don't have to go.
Oh gosh, how are you turning this back around on Tyler Hunt?
If you want to get,
I thought that was you on. I thought that was yours. I thought you were the one.
Here's the thing, Tyler. I've talked to you a few times on the Instagram Messenger, but when it comes to posting the socials, I don't do any of that. Yeah. I'm not like I don't do any of it. He makes all the art, all the stuff.
He responds to people.
Yeah. I respond to people on a regular basis. I'm the guy that you're talking to. If you're on Instagram, post it asking us about a movie. It's me. But I texted him and I said, hey, Tyler sent us this thing. He wants to post I don't know what to tell him. I probably should have said, hey, I don't know. I'll ask Brand. But I just thought Brand would hop in there at any point.
I did not hop in.
I'm glad we're doing this now.
You guys both have access to the account.
Yeah,
you guys both have passwords.
Yeah. We both got the same.
So I don't know who I'm talking to if I'm talking to one of you.
I'll try my best to tell you from now on. In that regard, and that's how I'll reach out to you for filming a movie because that's happening. I'm going to bring you on to do that.
Let's go.
I only I talk exclusively through FaceTime. So if you want to contact me, I need to see you. I need to see this. I will say I saw this meme not too long ago that I felt so seen in this moment. And the meme said, I have not put my phone down since 2005, but don't expect me to text you back anytime soon.
Yep.
That's me.
Yep.
I just have such a hard time. Like, I see it. The problem is I see text messages and I want to give them the time that they deserve. And so I'm like, I'll come back to it, and then I don't. And it is a fatal flaw on my, because I have all the right intentions and I'm just the worst at follow through.
But isn't this, like, to me, there is a whole psychology behind text, Instagram, all these interactions, and it is a cesspool of confusion because everybody is going through their own personal journey when they read a text, wanting to reply, usually 9 times out of 10 with the best intentions, but things get misinterpreted. This is why I try to make my relationship with this phone device the most genuine and simplistic as I can. I don't claim that I answer everybody. I don't claim that I will give you, the most entertaining responses. I just try to genuinely interact with it in a way that keeps my sanity and hopefully is as courteous as I would be in person as I should be on a phone or a text message.
So here's the thing. This is very unnecessary for anybody else to hear this, but here we are. We're here now.
Here we are, an hour and a half. This is what we're doing.
This is why you listen to podcasts.
So one of my like love languages, Tyler, to put it that way, is personal time. And so I always want to make sure if I'm talking to you that you're getting my best. Which is why I have such a hard time with text messages, because it's just like I want to like have this whole conversation with you where it's not necessary. Usually it's not a whole conversation. And I also have this thing that not many people know about where I can't I don't have a good imagination. I can't picture things in my mind. And so when I am talking to somebody, I want to see them, which is why I do actually do FaceTime for the most part, because I like to be able to see you, because I don't remember what you look like in my mind, which is like apparently something that less than like 10% of the people have. It's a weird thing that I have. And so I like to be like, I want to feel connected to you as a person. And so that's why I have such a hard time.
Tyler, if you dig through all of those, that sad story and excuses, you'll find an apology in there somewhere. Like if you take it to the tape, like
there's no apology necessary, because I assume I know that. I assume there's a journey on the other end that's taking place that I'm not privy to, and I know I don't get offended by any of these things because I don't expect anything.
From a business perspective, I'm sorry. But from a personal perspective, I'm just looking for more than you were willing to give in that moment. And that's on me. That's on me, man. That's on me. Well, we made it through that, everybody. We did it. It Was Always You, coming up next Sunday on the Hallmark Channel.
Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday. I'm sorry. Yep. Next Saturday. Watch Tyler have a sketchy relationship with his brother's fiance only on the Hallmark Channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until next